Being out here on the lake kind of give me a setting, a surrounding to help me to reflect on some of those memories. I feel free. You know, looking at a wave kind of remind me of South China Sea, the ocean. Our boat was very small and it was full of people, a lot of young children, and I was one of those kids.
It was a perilous journey in an overcrowded fishing boat. Only half of those who tried to leave Vietnam by sea survived. Nam and the other refugees sailed west across the Gulf of Thailand, but on the third night, their boat was hit by a vicious storm.
I couldn't see the ocean, but I can feel the height of the wave and the depth of our boat whenever it dropped, and the lightnings and thunders. I was wet from the rain and wet from the water from the ocean. I would try to hang on to a step of a boat all night long because I didn't want to be thrown off the boat. I was trying to stay awake because I was worried that if I fall asleep, I may not survive.
Blown off course, the stricken vessel was eventually saved by an aid organization. Attempts were made to take the refugees to Thailand and Malaysia, but they were turned away. Eventually, Nam and his fellow refugees were dropped off on the small Indonesian island of Pulau Buton.
When we arrived, it's just like you land into a remote island, nothing there. It's just vegetation, just tree and grass, everything. So our first night, we slept in the grass, on the grass and open sky.
So there wasn't a refugee camp there?
No, we were the first one. We made it, yeah.
You made it a refugee camp?
Yeah. Next day, we all go in the forest, basically cut tree, cut whatever we can find and start making our own hut. And we didn't even have, I don't even know if we had any knife, anything. We didn't have anything.
12-year-old Nam was left to fend for himself for almost a month, scared and without his family. But then he met a man who would change his life. Gary Ferguson was a charismatic ex-serviceman who had used his own money and resources to try to help the refugees. How did you first see Gary Ferguson?
I think when I see Gary, I see that he is somebody that I need at a time. He was fearless. He's not afraid of anything. And kids love him. And I want Gary to like me. I felt like I want him to take care of me because I felt kind of helpless.
Gary arrived in February 1979 and spent at least 3 weeks on the island before suggesting the refugees move on. He commandeered a small fishing boat and persuaded a few dozen of them to sail for Singapore and a new life. Nam was determined to go with him.